Good morning, guys. What's going on? It is the 12th of January. We are taking a look at Casper. It's been a couple days since the last update, but we'll take a look here at Casper, share a couple thoughts of what might play out here in the days and weeks ahead. And then we got a nice big move in Bitcoin, although it did reverse quite hard. So we'll see about that. Guys, let's jump right into it here. So we have Casper, which found support at one of our lower levels, currently lower below the market. That level is 0.04416. That's this candle right here on the 8th of January. So we ultimately found resistance up there at the 52.65. That's 0.05265. Reversed, and I said there's a good chance we're in for a 10 or so % move to the downside, which we got plus a little bit. That came in on the 8th, like I said, and we found support right at 44.16, and now we are moving back higher. So far, not too much to worry about here at all, but this could be setting up a lower high, so that is the concern. We haven't quite made it back up to 52.65, which is up here, but there is a chance that this is a lower high. So far the trend is still to the upside. So we have this higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. On the 8th is still a higher low, but so far we have not printed a higher high. So if today was the end of the move, this would be a lower high, and we would look for the markets as they probably begin to roll over, printing a lower low, undercutting this low, and potentially heading down to some lower targets, maybe down to the 39.16 or something else that we would have to calculate that we do not have on the screen at the moment. So that is something to keep in mind as these markets continue to trade here throughout this Friday and into the weekend. So the reason why I brought that up first is because, yes, Bitcoin started to make a very nice move higher, but it did reverse and not have a very good close. So that's what we're working with. So we're going to get into the Bitcoin chart in a moment. But right now, like I said, there's nothing to worry about, but it's just something to keep on your radar that this could be the early stages of a lower high. And then obviously we would roll over and we would expect lower prices. So that's a possibility. Keep that in mind. But of course, you could rally up here, taking out the highs over in here. The high that move should have been the 30th, I believe, of December. And, that would take us up to 58.68 for starters. At least that would be a new high, plus that's the target. So it's probably where it would end up, 58.68 for Casper. So you can see what we're dealing with here. If we got up to that 58.68 level, that's a 19.9, call it a 20% move to the upside. If we move lower back down to 44.16, that is a 10%. And if we undercut the lows and start to head towards our second lower target, 39.16 will be that price. And that is call it 20% lower. So 20% higher, 20% lower. We're sitting just about in the center of that. But like I said, I will have to calculate some more levels if this market really starts to move lower, because we'll have more than just the 39.16 for areas of support. So just keep your eye and keep your mind open for both of those scenarios. Let's jump over to Bitcoin, guys. And of course, let me know your thoughts on Casper down in the comments. Always welcome. So Bitcoin, actually, I guess it was something to do with the ETFs in the US, either listed or something along those lines. Don't follow the news too much when it comes to the markets. So we had this nice day here. Bitcoin started to break out on the 11th of January, and we got back above 47,431. 47,431 right in here, but it's still resistance. Look at that big candle wick. We reversed through the level, closed below. So a little bit of a concern. Doesn't mean it won't be broken once again to the upside, but it's still in play as some pretty major resistance, 47,431. So that's, if Bitcoin was doing well, obviously Casper would have not reversed, but it's basically following what the BTC chart is doing. So we're just sitting in the middle of overhead resistance at 47,431 and then the lower support 44,059.76. We're just in the middle. We'll see what happens here, guys. Does the trend continue higher, or do we start to roll over for a further correction? I mean, the trend's very strong to the upside for Bitcoin, so it leads me to believe that this trend will continue higher. This will be, though, I want to mention this for what it's worth, just to kind of keep your mind open for possibilities here, is we have this candle right here, which was on the 11th of December. I called that like the shot over the bow. Markets were trending nice, went sideways, and then we get this big nasty red candle on the 11th. Markets start to trend back to the upside. We actually make a new high here, which took place on the 2nd of January. And then we get this big nasty red candle on the 3rd of January 2024. So that would be our number 2 big ugly candle. Markets start to trend higher once again. We start to get a little volatility on the 10th of January. But then we saw yesterday, big reversal, a bearish reversal, not a bearish engulfing pattern, but a bearish reversal here. So that's 1, 2, 3. You could call it 4. You could definitely call it 3, but maybe 4 big bearish candles for Bitcoin. So maybe this thing's starting to lose some steam for a little bit, but the trend is very strong to the upside. So at some point it will end, but it's very strong to the upside. So you got to be careful stepping in front of a train like this, where the momentum is higher. It's really hard to fight that. At some point it will end, but we're still making new highs. So, it should continue. It is reverse. I should say that maybe a little bit less confusing, that yes, we are having these bearish reversals, but we're still making new highs. So until that ends and we start to make new lows, that's probably when the trend will end. But until then, momentum is higher, and we should definitely be hitting some more upper targets for Bitcoin. So let's see here. Let me know your thoughts on Casper. Let me know your thoughts on Bitcoin. All links down in the video description, guys. Appreciate if you use those. Doesn't cost you anything and does help support the channel. Head over to my other channel where I do some woodworking videos. All right, guys, take care.